everyone, and welcome to episode 138 of the Holding Court podcast. Today, we're talking about how Justin saved Bo's first Easter, a current hot topic in our household, and how someone finally earned their dad badge. All coming up right now on Holding Court.
Bum 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 bum. Hello.
Here comes Peter Cottontail.
That's me.
We have to talk about this because Easter was on Sunday, and we had a good day. In the morning, we went to church. We walked to church. It was really nice. And as the day went on, there was some weather in Chicago, and I was trying to find some sort of an outdoor Easter situation where Bo could get a photo with the Easter bunny, forgetting that all malls in the Chicago area, or most of them at least that I found, were closed on Sunday. And I was in a little bit of a panic that Bo wasn't going to get his photo with the Easter bunny for his first Easter. I loved his photo with Santa for Christmas. And if you don't do something that first year, it can't become a tradition. So
Right.
I text you in a little bit of a panic.
Yeah. Well, you basically quit. You were like, nope, we're just not going to do it. Like, forget about it.
There was no quit.
Yeah. You were like, we'll just do it next year. And I was like, no, actually, there might happen to be a bunny rabbit running around our clubhouse right now. I was like, so, and this was like during the rain delay, by the way, which I was like, you guys came to the game because your mom came up. And then I was like, you know what, you should just take Bo home. We don't know how long this is going to be. It's so cold. It's raining. We don't need him getting sick.
Yeah.
I was like, why don't you just take him home? And you're like, okay, I'm going to try to find an Easter bunny. That didn't work out.
They were all in hibernation.
Yeah, their job was done for the year. They already hit all the eggs.
Normally teams have a Easter egg hunt after, and we didn't have one this year, but I think I was counting on that, or I don't know what I was counting on. I just dropped the ball. It was a total mom fail.
So I was like, well, there is an Easter bunny running around our clubhouse, or was pregame. I was like, why don't you just bring Bo up at the end of the game, and I'll bring him in the clubhouse, and we'll get a picture in the Easter bunny outfit. Well, then the game just went on and on and on, and extra innings and rain delay and
two rain delays.
And I don't know what time it finished, like 6:30 or something.
Yeah. So
at that point I was like, okay, bringing him up here is not an option. And you were like, whatever, we'll just get it next year. And I was like, well, maybe I can get this bunny outfit and bring it home. And you were like, just don't worry about it.
Well, in the back of my mind, I knew you were coming home with the bunny outfit, but even when I told you not to, I just wanted it to be the one with the background. And I know with like AI now, I could probably just superimpose the photo on a perfect mall Easter bunny bungalow background, but I wanted it to be right. And I think that's why I said, don't worry about it. I didn't want a bootleg photo for his first photo.
Right. Well, the disappointing part was, I think I had talked to Danny's our clubhouse guy, and Danny's the one who had the rabbit mascot outfit. Don't ask why.
I know. I need to know why, but I don't know if I want to know why.
And he was running around pregame in it, and it was pretty funny. And I had borrowed some tools from him because I had to do some stuff around the house, and I went and dropped the tools off in his office, and I saw the box with the outfit in it in the morning. And so I was in the food room a little later.
A light bulb went off.
Well, no. I was in the food room a little later, and this rabbit comes hopping in the food room and taps me on the shoulder. And I turn around and I see him, and I just go, oh, what's up, Danny? And he was like, what? Like, how'd you know? But anyways, I was like, so Danny, after we win this game today and we sweep, I need you like in the costume, like greeting the guys, like, and he was ready to roll. Maybe some other stuff. But obviously it didn't go our way. So after the game, I'm like, hey man, Which, by the way, he told me after, he's like, do you know how brutal it was sitting in that rabbit costume for 4 innings waiting to see if we were going to win?
It's like when they put up the plastic in the play, or when you're going to clinch in the playoffs. Yeah. And if the team doesn't do it, it's the frantic ripping everything down before the guys get inside. I feel like that's what it kind of was on a smaller scale. So anyways, after we talked, I was like, Danny, what are the chances I can just take, excuse me, and take that bunny costume home? And he's like, you want to take it home? Like, give me the weirdest look. And I was like, well, we have a fetish. Like, we had plans for Bo, like, you know, in the rain, it got kind of washed away and he didn't get any pictures with the Easter bunny. And he's like, oh yeah. He's like, I'll just leave it in my office. Just grab it on the way out. I was like, okay. And I'm like, where did you get this? He's like, it was just laying around the clubhouse. I'm like, okay. Now that I'm thinking about it, you walked out with it. There's fans waiting outside your parking lot. Did they see the costume? I had the box in my hand, so they probably saw it. They probably were wondering what was going on. I walked out with Flash, our bench coach, and he's like, what are you doing? And I was like, well, about to save Easter. Saving Easter for one. But no, and then I wanted to, because you were like, oh, don't worry about it. And I knew that I was still going to bring it home, but I wanted to find a way to like show up in the bunny outfit, but I also didn't want to like be getting dressed in my car on the street and people driving by while I'm putting on the bunny suit, and maybe like a little kid see me and I've ruined the Easter bunny for him. True. You know, so I had to call, we have like a gate in front of our house, so I had to call you and have you let me in the gate, so you knew what was up. Yeah, I saw it. But obviously Bo didn't know. Your mom drove up from Indiana. She didn't know, and Karina didn't know, so we're just sneaking in the house. I went up and changed real quick and came down, and I got into character. You walk in the kitchen in full costume, and I kind of knew, I knew you had the thing because I let you in, but seeing you hop in full costume was hilarious. And my mom, you crept up behind my mom. I have to post this video. Yeah, we need the outtakes. Scared the crap out of my mom. And then after, she's like, it's a really cute costume. I don't know why it scared me so much. I was like, I don't know, because a giant bunny just appeared behind you out of nowhere. And I didn't think Bo was, I don't know, Bo met Clark, the Cubs mascot, and was fine. But he's starting to, like, I won't even say he has like stranger danger. He just has, it's a little stranger danger. I guess his favorites that he wants to be, like, he doesn't get, I don't know, he doesn't have like full meltdowns yet, really, when other people take him. But I didn't know how he's going to be. And then he saw you, and I think he thought, oh, he just looks like one of my giant bunny stuffed animals. Right. And it was a very curious look. And then he looks over at me like, Mom, are you seeing this? There's a giant stuffed animal looking at me. He was like, Mom, the Easter bunny is real. I know, because I kept telling him the night before, which obviously he doesn't really understand. But I kept saying, the bunny's coming. We got to get tucked in. We have to go to bed, or the bunny's going to be here and you're going to be awake. And in my mind, he was like, wait, you weren't lying. The bunny's actually here. Right. He came way later in the day at 6:30 p.m., but he's here. And it was hilarious. And then once you picked him up, I don't know if he felt a familiarity when you picked him up, but he settled into it, I feel like. Yeah, I wasn't worried. He was fine with Santa Claus. And I feel like most kids freak out. He's a person. That's true. But in a big suit and a big beard, and I know it's a person, but I didn't think he was going to like freak out, and he was fine. And then I started like bouncing him and messing around. And I didn't like, for the first, I don't know how long, I didn't like talk at all. Oh no. Because I didn't want him to know or hear my voice or react. So I was just like bouncing around. Well, he's in like super obsessed with you mode right now. Yeah. So if you would have talked, it might have, I don't know, it might have been way better, or he might have been wondering where his dad was and why his voice was coming out of the bunny. But it was awesome. Hilarious. And then we took photos. I still need to figure out a way to put him on a background, but it's perfect. And I don't know. Like, I'll chat GPT him. We might need to get the bunny suit so we have it for every year, so he can have that photo every year, or next year we just start with the mall ones and we get it right. But still, it's a good memory for sure.
Maybe I'll be the Easter bunny every year.
The family bunny.
The family bunny.
No, it was cute. Yeah, I got to get better at yeah. We were good on the Santa one. I feel like the problem is I saw the Easter bunny in February, I think in spring training at the mall, and I thought, it's February. Why? Like, Easter bunny's early. And it just seems so far away. And then I feel like Japan and the move and all that. And then we were on the road and it just happened very fast. This year's already flying. So
we do need to plan better. Even Santa, we need to plan better.
Yeah.
Because when we went, we didn't know that, like, we thought that you just get in line.
Oh, yeah.
At least the one at the Grove.
Oh,
obviously in the mall, you get in line and you go. But
yeah,
the one at the Grove, you need an appointment. So
you needed full reservations for that for sure.
Right.
Speaking of Bo, you have been having some strong reactions, I've noticed, when I am having Bo. So I'm a lefty. I'm ambidextrous. I eat and write with my left hand, but I am a proud lefty. But in sports, I think just from coaching and mimicking and all that, everything was just right-handed.
You throw a baseball right-handed, by the way.
I do throw a baseball right-handed.
Okay. I'm just
But
pointing that out before you go into
remember
this.
when we went bowling and you had me bowl left-handed and I actually had this natural curve to the ball and it was stunning?
I don't know what point you're trying to make with this, but yes, I remember.
So the world is not built for left-handed people. That's
facts.
I remember in
just
kindergarten.
Look at scissors.
I remember in kindergarten we had one pair of lefty scissors and there was this lefty kid that was a hog of them. And so I was forced to conform at an early age to the world of right-handers. I don't think it's fair. And I actually think that there is so much untapped potential in me physically, athletically, that was taken away from me because through coaching, through everything else, everyone just forces you into this box to do everything right-handed. Pole vaulting, they were like, you could do it left-handed, but why would you? And so I just shifted.
You're so dramatic.
And now I'm looking back on my life and reflecting and thinking what could have been. And
Are you? Is that what's happening?
I am. I could have been, I don't even know. The sky was the limit until it wasn't. And so my point that I'm trying to make in a roundabout way is Bo, young, sweet, innocent, learning Bo, is picking up objects and is starting to throw them. And you keep asking, which hand is he throwing with? And sometimes he'll pick something up with his left hand and you get visibly heated.
No.
Visibly heated.
Incorrect.
If I place it in his hand.
You keep putting it in his left hand,
I want to
trying to make him a lefty, which is absolutely insane.
I want to keep his options open if he is a lefty. There's a good possibility he is a lefty.
He'll figure out what he is, but don't force it on him.
But what if he is a lefty? Will you
Then he's a lefty, but not because you keep putting balls in his left hand.
Why are you so upset if he is a lefty?
I'm not upset, but I'm upset that you're trying to make him a lefty.
Really? Because I said, what if Bo is going to be a left-handed catcher? And you said, absolutely not.
He's not going to be a catcher.
You said, absolutely not.
No.
What's wrong with lefties?
There's nothing wrong with lefties. He's not going to be a catcher either. He doesn't need those foul tips. I don't even know if he's going to play baseball. I don't even know if he's going to like baseball. But if he does, and if he wants to play baseball, I hope he's a righty.
He can
hit left-handed.
Okay,
he can hit left-handed.
What is the difference? What is the difference?
Difference? As a right-handed player, you can play anywhere on the field. As a left-handed player, you have 4 options.
Is that true though?
Yeah.
But what if you break through
the
barriers that lefties face in everyday life, like I did?
Don Mattingly played third base for a few times with the Yankees, and that's about it. I'm sure there have been other guys, but it's not a thing.
But he would be more unique, which would make him more valuable.
You're probably the first parent that's ever thought that.
Okay. Well, listen, we'll give you updates. As of right now, he did throw a couple things at breakfast this morning with his right hand.
Far.
Yeah, he launched it. But
Kid's got a cannon.
we're not going to be the parents that are like, my kid is a prodigy. And like, Bo's the best, but like, let's not assess anything for a while now. Let's
also not force left-handedness on him.
I'm just leaving the possibilities open, because he's not, if he's watching you, he's watching, I mean, even me, like I was forced to give it up. And I think that he's not going to, he can see me writing left.
Okay, so hold on. Let me get this straight. You're upset that you were forced to do something, so you think it's in your best interest to force balls into his left hand?
No. He might be a true lefty.
Yeah, but why are you making him throw left-handed then?
Because he might be a lefty. So I want him to, he's not going to see it if he's observing. It's like coaching. Like when I played sports, like everything was coached right-handed. Maybe if someone would have shown me that I could have done it left. We already saw, like I swung a bat, I swung a golf club, and I went bowling, and I was much better from the left side. And now I'm looking back at my life in my 30s. And
I'm thinking, not better at swinging a golf club left-handed.
If I had a little more practice, I do think.
Here we go. You're just stretching everything.
No, it was actually, you were like, oh, it's actually not bad.
No, you're significantly better right-handed.
We're moving on. We'll keep you posted on Lefty Turner and see. I'm done with you.
Okay.
You were visibly heated.
I feel like
it's something that you shouldn't have been that upset about. I don't know if I've seen you get that upset about anything parenting wise, and it was just a little jarring to me.
I feel like
it's fine though. He's fine.
I feel like when we poll the audience, everyone's going to be team me on this one.
And I expect just that saying. Because again, like I said, my whole life I've had to overcome being left, being a true, I don't think I was naturally ambidextrous. I'm just saying.
So you're saying you are ambidextrous now, is what you're saying?
Yeah. I didn't have a choice. And I excelled at it, but I don't know if everyone would.
I think we should go to the next subject.
We're going to the next subject. And okay, so here's the deal. Bo, as you all know, was born in Canada in the middle of the season. And
July 4th.
Our house, I know, my little holiday firecracker. Our nursery back at our house was set up for us because when we were coming home, obviously everything needed to be painted and built and rearranged. And with that, Justin never had to build a crib, which I believe, it's like putting the car seat in the car, is a rite of passage as a parent, as a dad. And here we are in our house in Chicago, and we're setting up Bo's room and setting up his nursery. And we finally picked up a crib and his little changing table, little dresser. He has his little lounger in there. He's got everything going. And the crib needed to be assembled. And dad life had to happen. And do you want to talk about it? I have some comments on it.
I'll let you.
Shockingly enough.
I'll let you make your comments and then I'll have my rebuttals to your comments.
Okay. So the crib, the changing table, which took you 3 nights. Fine.
Interesting.
So it was similar to the IKEA situation where you use the Allen wrench, which that should be on my resume, building IKEA furniture. Give me a Malm dresser any day of the week and I can build it for you. The drawers, a specialty, cranking those things tight so that everything will be aligned, perfect spacing in between. Anyways, you are using the tools provided, and it specifically said in the instructions, do not use power tools. They're not needed, and no electric screwdriver. because sometimes, as you know, I thought you would know, if you're doing it and you're going too fast, you risk breaking the furniture.
That's correct.
But you made a choice.
I did.
At a certain point, you didn't want to earn your stripes anymore.
No, the whole time.
And doing the crank.
I used it the whole time.
I heard something.
You heard what?
I heard the tools.
Yeah.
And you even earlier in this episode said you borrowed some tools from Danny, and I don't think it was a Phillips and a flathead. I believe you got some.
No, it was a Phillips and a flathead for a
with some
drill. So, do you have more comments or?
Not yet. I will.
Okay. Let's start with this dresser / changing table.
Okay.
It's actually pretty nice. It's a Delta.
Stunning. From, where is it from?
Unfinished wood. It's from Target.
Yep.
Highly recommend it. I will say.
Let's not recommend it yet.
Well, we haven't really used it yet, but it looks really nice.
Yeah.
I guess the installation part of it was not all rainbows and butterflies, but it's first of all it's very heavy. So couldn't even get it out of the car by myself. So I ended up opening the box in the car and carrying the pieces in like 2 at a time from the car because it was
my
so
suggestion.
heavy. That was a good suggestion.
Yeah, it's the old IKEA trick. It's like when you had to load stuff in your car that wouldn't fit at the Burbank IKEA, and you just have to start taking it apart and Tetrising it in. So that's kind of where I got it from.
Once got it all in, got all the pieces separated and organized, and made sure I had all my stuff. The first night I actually we had like one of those like little electric handheld screwdrivers, which the first couple nights didn't really help because everything was Allen wrench and I didn't have an Allen wrench bit. So, this is what took so long is it's not the construction of it and the building of it. It doesn't allow you enough space for the Allen wrench to even come to barely do a quarter turn at a time. And on most of the screws and bolts, they weren't just like sliding in and then you just had to like tighten them up, 1/8 of an inch or a half an inch. Like it was like sitting in and I'm like doing a quarter turn at a time, trying to get this inch and a half of bolt into where it's supposed to go. So it was extremely tedious and took a long time. And every time I would go up to work on it and start doing it, you'd come in the room in like an hour and be like, "Are you still working on that? Like, let's go to bed." And I'm like, yeah, I want to finish this. And you're like, "Yeah, but let's go to bed. I'm tired." I'm like, okay. And then the next night I go back to work and you're like, "Okay, let's go to bed. I'm tired."
I was tired watching you.
I'm like, "Well, when do you want me to finish this?" And then now you come on the podcast and you're like, "It took you 3 days to build this." And I'm like, "You were putting the time constraints on me."
I mean, it was exhausting and then just the blatant disregard of the instructions.
So again, there was only very limited opportunities to use a drill or an electric screwdriver.
I know.
And when I did, I just got it down to where it was like 1/8 of an inch left. And then I went to the Allen wrench and tightened it by hand. So I did not crack any of the woods. It just expedited the quarter turn at a time.
Yeah.
Getting the screw in 1.5 inches. So, that's where that was. I'm very aware that if you use the drill, the power drill, which is what I got from Danny at the field.
And the bunny suit.
Because the electric screwdriver died and I didn't know where the charger was. That was just to expedite it and kind of get the screws close. And then I did the rest by hand. So, yeah. And it did take me a while to figure out how to get the brackets on the dresser to release. That was why I stopped. on night 2 because I didn't know how to take it out.
It was weird. They came already on the dresser and then they had to be unlocked.
I had to take them off and then put them on the drawers and then put them back in.
It was the child lock, so they don't just slide out. I don't know.
There's a lot of weird stuff going on in that.
I think that's why dads always talk about building the crib. It's not easy. It's not supposed to be easy.
Well, the crib was significantly easier
True.
than the dresser.
Because we actually went to Target and it said, I mean, everyone knows this. You go there, it'll say so many in stock, yada, yada, yada. We go there and the guy said, oh, we have this issue all the time. It's an inventory thing. We have the floor model, which we can't sell you because you didn't build it. So it's a liability if you take it home and something goes wrong. And we have no more in the back. So
God, the floor model would have been a dream.
I saw you like eyeing it and thinking,
the wheels were turning. I was like, whoa.
If I turn this on its side, I put the seats back.
How do we get this in the car?
Just set this on the roof, get some zip ties, some twine.
Lysol wipe it down.
Bleach a whole damn thing.
No.
And so we had to get it shipped, which was annoying because we already had everything for it in the cart. The other little changing table is matching. And he said, we have no more in the entire Chicagoland area. You're not going to find it. And then I was thinking, well, if I order this and it's thinking it's going to pull from this store's inventory, I don't know if it's coming from a generic warehouse or it's coming from that store.
Right.
I'm thinking, oh my gosh, he's going to build this whole thing and then we're not going to have the matching crib. We're going to have to start.
The guy did say if you ordered online, it wasn't going to come from that store.
Yeah.
So.
Sometimes I don't know. I think that's maybe like store pickup. But so it gets there and you're like, are all the panels assembled or do I have to do every
It was supposed to come on Monday and it showed up Saturday.
Yeah.
Which was like, that never happens.
Yeah.
But yeah. I was
like,
literally.
Can you tell me if it's possibly already, if the sides are already assembled or if I'm going to have to do every little wooden slab?
I don't even know if I made it to, I don't even know if I made it to the end of the street. Like I must have passed the UPS guy, whoever delivered it. Because I like turned left to go to the field and you're like, the crib's here. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, please open it and tell me that all of the little like sidings on the crib are already assembled.
Bars. I know. Bars. The guy showed up and I was so glad I caught him because it was raining and there's no way to really buzz someone in. I mean, there is, but I don't have it. I don't even know technology, but I run to the front door and he's standing at the gate at the bottom of the steps and
I know. Thank God you were there.
He was like, do you want me to bring it in? I could only set it right past the threshold. And I was like, that would be please set it past the threshold. Yes, that's amazing. And I was so happy. But you were like, can you assess if it's going to be difficult to build this crib? But it was fine.
You asked him?
No, you asked me. You're like, do you know if the
I thought you asked him. I was like,
the guy's
what is the delivery? He's like,
ma'am, I'm just here to place it over the threshold. Yeah. I don't know what this is like. But I told you could have just hired a TaskRabbit, but I think you wanted to earn your stripes.
That's a cop out. Yeah. No, the crib was way easier, but at the same time, the crib did still take a lot of Allen wrenching by hand, but it was only like, there was like 15 screws where the dresser was like 70.
Yeah.
So I flew through the crib.
Yeah.
Now we just got to see if he'll sleep in it.
I know. He's been in the pack and play. It's fine. He napped in the crib.
In LA a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. It'll be fine. I mean.
We just got to get him to take all of his naps in the crib now.
Yeah. And get used to it. Yep. Poor Bubs. I know. Well, we should talk a little bit about baseball.
Yeah. Sure.
This season has been weird already in a good way. You guys have played really tough teams and the games, I don't know what it is, but it feels like they've already been similar to playoff games and very intense, very close games. You guys have played the same teams a lot. Like you've already seen Arizona twice, Padres twice, Dodgers twice, about to be 3 times. What else am I missing? Is that it?
Diamondbacks.
Yeah. Arizona.
Did you say that?
Yeah. Arizona. Yeah. We have to talk about this.
Rangers.
You've only seen them once.
I know, but
but a tough team. Yeah. I know it's been wild and intense, and I feel like it's not always like this in April already. But we have to talk about the wacky game the other day with the 8th inning. And I need your perspective on it, because if you were, I don't know, if you were new to baseball, this would be, if you came to this game, your face would be melted off. I don't even know. It was, you go through so many, it was a roller coaster, and sometimes you want off the ride, and I don't know what it was, but, and you can speak a little to like what actually happened, but when you guys went down in the top of the 8th, I just still felt like, for whatever reason, and maybe it was all those like crazy comebacks in spring training and all that, I still felt in my heart you guys were winning that game. And I don't know if you guys felt that, or if there was, I don't know, what was the emotion in the 8th inning?
Well, it was the 7th in the 8th inning, because it was 2-1 going in the bottom of the 7th. We scored 5 runs.
This was the Friday game, the Friday 120 game, yeah, which I guess is always a wacky game in Chicago. We have a lot of day games here, if you're not familiar. This entire weekend, every single game was at 120, minus the rain delayed game that ended up starting at 3:10. But there's a lot of wacky things in the middle of the day on Friday. Things. Yeah.
So we scored 5 runs in the 7th to put us up 7-1. Mm-hmm. In the top of the 8th, we gave up 10. A 10 spot.
Normally, you don't win a game if you give up 10 runs.
So there's never been a team in the history of baseball that has given up 10 runs in an inning later than the 3rd inning. That's the caveat. So I think it's been done if you've given up 10 in the 2nd or the 1st. But later than the 3rd inning, given up 10 runs in an inning and won a game. We're the first team ever to do that. So they hit a grand slam in the top of the 8th. We hit a grand slam in the bottom of the 8th. There was 6 home runs combined in this inning and a half. There was a cycle hit. So a single, double, triple homer in this game. Or in this inning.
Obviously.
By different players. There was all 4 types of homers. So there was a grand slam, a 3-run homer, a 2-run homer, and a solo homer. And then 3 half innings in a row of 5+ runs. So like these things, 6 home runs, 2 grand slams, all 4 types of hits, all 4 types of homers, 3 half innings in a row of 5+ runs had never happened in the history of MLB over the course of an entire game. And this happened in 1 inning, an inning and a half.
The most surprising thing is I think the game was also only 3 hours.
Well, it was flying until that 7th inning. Like, it was crazy. You
think about all those things that happened, and you think this game had to have been 4 hours easily. Like 3.5, 4. It was 3 hours. Of fun.
I got some more stats for you.
Oh, I love this.
16 combined runs in the 8th inning. That's the most ever scored in an inning at Wrigley Field. Cubs are the 5th team in the last 125 seasons to score 6+ runs and allow 10+ runs in the same inning. That's the 3rd inning one. What else we got? Yeah, I don't know. There's all kinds of fun stats that went around. Sarah Langs, shout out to Sarah. She's great on Twitter.
Yes.
7th team in at least the last 125 seasons to allow 10+ runs in an inning and win. So it's happened 6 times besides that. In 2006, the Guardians scored 10 runs in the 1st inning against Kansas City. In 89, the Phillies scored 10 runs in the 1st inning against Pittsburgh. Now we're just going way back. But anyways, I don't want to bore people with all these numbers. It's crazy. Yeah.
No, I'm kidding. No, it was wild. And think about if that was a game you went to, again, or you were introducing someone to baseball,
right,
and you brought them to that game, or it was a first date and the girl's kind of on the fence about getting into baseball.
It's the breakup.
No, it's wild.
Vince Vaughn brings Jennifer Aniston to their first game in Chicago.
Actually, they met at the game. They were there separately, remember? And then
you're right. Whatever.
She ordered the hot dog.
You know what I mean. You know what I mean.
No, it would have been wild. And it's just one of those games that was it the World Series? No, it was the NLCS where you guys had like 13 runs in the 1st inning or something.
That was against the Braves, I think.
Yeah, that was wild and wacky too. But then the game, I feel like after that was like, this happened at the end, so it was crazy. I feel like when it happens in the very beginning,
Right.
then it's kind of okay. After that, there's not a lot of action, but this was insane. And again, the 120 crowd gets rowdy out there. And
it's funny you brought up like our schedule and like playing these teams early in the year, because they are really good teams and really good pitching staffs. And I think I saw something the other day, like our strength of schedule is like 100 points higher than the second team's strength of schedule.
yeah,
Like meaning like
the
teams we're playing are really good. Their pitching staffs are really good. Their bullpens are insane. And all the meanwhile, I think we have the top offense in baseball right now, which is great. I mean, I don't think a lot of people had us being an offensive juggernaut this year. I think a lot of people thought we were a really good team with good players, but
yeah,
it's been pretty impressive the way we've gone about it. And, we've let a couple get away, but we've been playing pretty good baseball. It's been really fun to be a part of.
Just got to win the series.
Keep winning series. If you win every series of the year, you're going to have a pretty good year.
No, yeah, it's been fun to watch for sure. It's one of those things, like you play really well against the tough teams. You just have to make sure you maintain it.
No letdowns.
Yeah, because sometimes you think there's like a gimme. You play a team that's struggling and
right,
they have the fight on their side. So
exactly,
it's going to be a fun season.
You
for
nailed
sure.
it.
Thank you. I should be a commentator.
Oh, man. You'd be great.
All right. Well, that is going to do it for today's episode. A friendly reminder to subscribe so you don't miss an episode. And we are on YouTube now, so you can watch us now on there and leave comments. We love to read them. Appreciate all of your feedback. But thanks for listening, and we'll talk to y'all next week.
See ya.
Bye.
Bum, 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 bum.